Welcome to SIUK India webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We are now live with Northumbria University. Today we have Naina Anand with us. Today she'll be taking us through this webinar session. We'll answer all the questions during the Q&A after the presentation. So let's start the webinar. Over to you, Naina.
Thank you, Priyanka. Just allow me a moment to share the screen and then we'll start. Yes. Hi, good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining in today. So I'm Naina and I work with Northumbria University in the office and I take care of admissions and undergraduate activity. So very warm welcome to this session. Today we'll be talking about our undergraduate courses, what kind of provisions we are providing to our undergrad students. We'll also cover a little brief about the university, the attributes, the accreditations, fee structure, the kind of courses we are offering, and etc. So let's start with the session. Right. So to start with the background of the university, Northumbria is a research-rich, business-focused university, and we were regularly voted for the best place in the UK for students. If I go back to the origins of the university, we were initially in the form of Rutherford College, and we were founded in 1880. And today, by providing excellent experience to our students, we are one of the most excellent universities, and we are top universities when we talk about research. We work with a lot of employers, probably more than 560 employers, which employ our students. Employers like IBM, Nissan, Procter and Gamble, BBC, NHS, and etc. We'll talk about more in detail with respect to the placements and the kind of work opportunities we're offering to our students towards the end of the presentation. To cover a few rankings, course-wise and department-wise, we are ranked 7th in the UK for interior designing. For chemistry and biomedical science programs, we are 5th in the UK. For all our fashion and textile related programs, we are 7th in the UK. And if I talk about one of our niche programs like CPM, construction project management or project management, we are 7th in the UK. We are 10th for hospitality, leisure and recreation and tourism courses. Then 5th for forensic science as well. 6th for building related programs like real estate. And 4th in the UK for information systems and management. Few attributes of the university. Now, any student who wants to go for an undergraduate course, the major concern that the parents have or the students have is with respect to the safety of such students. In UK, Newcastle upon Tyne is one of the most safest places to live. And when I talk about the kind of exposure a student gets, there are 30,000 plus students who are living in Newcastle upon Tyne and 130 plus nationalities. Now, if a student is going to a university which is in abroad, they want the kind of exposure when in a class they are sitting with few students, the kind of students that they want to sit with should be international. They do not want Indian students to be around them. So on those basis, they have 130 plus nationalities in the university. We are top student city in the UK and one of the top rated UK young universities. 95.5% of our students are either into employment or into further studies right after their graduation. To cover a few of the general rankings in the university, we are 46th as per Guardian Guide, 43rd as per Complete University Guide of 2023, 49th in the UK for THE UK rank, and in the 500s as per the world ranking of the university. Location of the university is a major attribute. We are in Newcastle upon Tyne. It's a beautiful city situated in northeast England. We are 46 miles away from the Scottish border and 103 miles away from the south of Edinburgh and 277 miles away from north of London. If I talk about connectivity, we are well connected to major cities of the world. Traveling from India is very convenient. You can travel via Dubai, you can travel via Paris, London, and Amsterdam. And inside UK as well, we are connected to all the major cities London is just 2.5 hours train ride and a 40-minute flight. We are very well connected to Edinburgh, also Glasgow, Leeds, Manchester, all the major cities of United Kingdom. Very happy to share that we were voted the best student city 4 times in the last 8 years. And as I mentioned, that there are more than 130 nationalities. We are one of the global cities of UK as well. Accreditations of our courses for all our undergrad programs, we have recognition from these global bodies which are present in the website and on the slide as of now. So there are 38 global bodies which recognize our courses. If I talk about few of the major programs and most popular programs that we are offering, we have RICS for our construction related programs and CIOB for our project management course. Then we have CIM for any course which is in the field of marketing. Then we have dual accreditation for our business courses. For example, we have AACSB and also the accreditation of CIM for such programs. There is Institution of Mechanical Engineers accrediting all our mechanical engineering programs. British Psychological Society for our psychology related courses. There is BCS for all IT related courses like data science, construction project management, computer science courses, advanced computer science, and etc. These are again some of the common accreditations, but apart from this, we also have other accreditations which are all mentioned on the website course-wise. Now let's talk about the major factor of this session, which is undergraduation. If I talk about undergraduation, why a student should actually do undergrad in UK? Now, the kind of studies that India has to offer is very different from what we offer at Newcastle upon Tyne and Northumbria University. If I talk about the curriculum of a particular course that a student studies, the difference between India and Newcastle or our university is the kind of theoretical knowledge or practical knowledge that a student gets. We've designed the course curriculum in such a way that any student who's studying at Northumbria is not only just getting theoretical knowledge, but also some sort of practical knowledge. And this is imparted in various ways. For this, we also launched the placement year program. What happens in a placement year is that a student gets work opportunities or some sort of practical exposure before they enter into the corporate world. The idea behind creating such a course or providing such exposure to students is that any student who is doing undergrad in Northumbria should be well equipped with the kind of knowledge and the kind of exposure they need to work in a corporate world. Apart from this, we also provide career opportunities to our students. If I mention about some of the placement opportunities that we are giving, since I mentioned we work with more than 560 employers. Now, for that, we have placement seminars, placement fairs, which are conducted very often in the university. And students can participate in these fairs. They can also do part-time work in Newcastle upon Tyne. They are allowed 20 hours of part-time work weekly. And there are few students who do not just get part-time work outside the university, but within the university campus as well. And there are 560 employers that we work with. And of course, the cherry of the cake is the 2-year stayback option that every student has right after doing their graduation. So these are the kind of provisions a student gets when they are studying undergraduate at Northumbria University. We are also offering guaranteed accommodation to all our first-year undergrad students. We'll cover about accommodation in more detail towards the end of the presentation. Now, very pleased to let you know that we offer more than 100 courses at undergrad level. And these courses are divided into 4 departments. To start with, we have arts, design, and social sciences. Then we have business and law. There is engineering and environment, which is a very popular department that we have, which covers most of the courses that we are offering. Then there is health and life sciences also, which is becoming a very demanded department and offers a lot of variety of courses for our students. For arts, design, and social sciences, these are the kind of programs that we are offering, which are there on the slide right now. To start with, we have English language and literature courses. We have English language and studies. Then literature itself has 4 or 5 specializations with American studies, with creative writing, with history, and a basic course in English literature. For fashion, we have 3 or 4 specializations. We have fashion communication, fashion design and marketing, film, TV, and production. Then there is also a general course, which is in fashion. We have a fine art course, which is available. We have graphic designing. There is history and politics, history and American studies. We also have international relations and politics. For mass communication, we recently initiated 3 or 4 specializations in advertising, in business. we've seen the trend that students who are coming from humanities background or from arts background, they do not want to constrain themselves or restrict themselves just to one particular field of study. They want to have two, three subjects at one point of time only while they are doing their undergrad studies. For that same purpose, we've tried to initiate courses or accommodate courses in which they can also get language certifications. And we have music, which was launched last year only. Then there is professional policing, sociology, design related programs, criminology, and sociology available also. We also have theater and performance for all our creative minds. In the field of business and law, major all the courses, we have business and marketing, we have business and supply chain management, we also have business management, economics and finance. Now we've tried to mix a few specializations as well. For example, finance and investment management. This is a very popular course for students who want to learn about stock exchange, the New Delhi Stock Exchange or the Bombay Stock Exchange, and etc., who want to get into trading and etc. We have a general course in international business management. Then, like I was mentioning, that there are courses available with a particular language as well. For that, we have international business management with French and Spanish, which is available, and a particular course in tourism and events management also. We also offer LLB at undergrad level. Now, the most popular courses that we get at undergrad level are related to IT. In the field of engineering and environment courses, we have programs like civil engineering. There is construction management. We also have architecture, which is offered at undergrad level. Then in engineering, we have automotive engineering. We have building surveying, data science, electrical and electronic engineering. Networks and cyber security are a very popular course. We also have mechanical engineering, a specialization in mathematics, a BSc mathematics program, which was started 2 years back only. Then also interior architecture, geography related program, games computing. We met students at fairs and we saw a lot of demand for students who wanted to study computers as well as the background of gaming. So we've combined a program for that, which is called games computing. Then there is real estate, physics with astrophysics, a proper course in physics BSc. So all these courses would be available in the September intake. For health and life sciences, we have tried to cover most of the specializations. We have biochemistry, biology, biomedical science. Any student who wants to get into the field of hospital management and etc., they can get through these particular programs. We have chemistry, we have forensic science. And as I mentioned, we are ranked 5th, 7th, 11th simultaneously for all these particular courses. We have health and social care. We also have medical sciences. There is occupational therapy, physiotherapy, primary education, psychology with criminology. For sports, we are offering 4-5 programs as well. We are amongst the top 10 universities in UK for our sports courses. We have sports exercise and nutrition, sports management related program as well, and also a sports coaching and exercise related program. So these are the kind of courses that we are offering. Since students in India come from all streams, and now we've seen that the trend is changing. The students do not just come from commerce and science background, but there is more, opportunities in humanities and arts background. So for that also, we've initiated a lot of programs in our particular intake of September. Entry requirements, if I talk about, remains to be the same for majority of our programs. For undergrad, what we need is 65% and above in class 12. Now, there are 2 durations which we are offering to our students in undergrad level. Like I mentioned, there is a 3-year course and there is a 4-year course with placement. And academic requirement remains to be the same for both the durations, which is 65% and above in class 12. There could be few courses apart from this in which we might need certain extra requirements as well. For example, for a design program, we might need a portfolio. For a sports related course, we might need certifications or a statement of purpose where the student should describe what all they've achieved in the field of sports. But if I talk about academic requirement, that remains to be 65% overall in class 12 for all our students for all the programs. We do give IELTS waiver also, which I'll talk about in the next slide. But to start about the IELTS requirement, IELTS for our UG program is an overall 6 with no band less than 5.5. And we also accept PT and TOEFL equivalencies. For PT, what we require is an overall 54 and a minimum of 51 in each component. For TOEFL, what we need is an overall score of 79 with a minimum score of 18, 17, 17, and 20. In reading, we need 18. In writing, we need 17. Listening, 17, and speaking, 20 as well. These equivalencies are also mentioned on the website, so you can take a note of that at a later stage or check from the website also. Now, this requirement is applicable to most of the courses. I would say 98% or 99% of our programs. Some programs might have a higher requirement. For example, our health and life sciences programs, where we might need a more score in the IELTS. Our LLB courses, where we need 6.5 and no band less than 5.5. But again, for majority of our programs, what we need in IELTS is an overall 6 and no band less than 5.5. We do give IELTS waiver, since I mentioned. From all the CBSE and ICSE boards, which are the centralized boards, we are offering IELTS waiver at 60 and above in class 12 in the subject English. Any state board, if a student is coming from a state board, what we need in English is 70 and above in class 12. And from students who are coming from the state boards of Punjab, Gujarat, and Haryana, there are no IELTS waiver for them. So we do accept students who are coming from these particular boards. Now there is a thin line that I would want to clarify over here. This is not based on your geographical state. For example, if you're staying in Punjab, Gujarat, and Haryana, you are very well eligible for an IELTS waiver. This is only applicable for students who are from the state board of Punjab, Gujarat, and Haryana. So IELTS, PT, or TOEFL is mandatory for those students. Any other state board in India, we can give IELTS waiver on 70 and above. From CBSE and ICSE, we can give IELTS waiver on 60 and above in class 12 English. Now, at undergrad level, we have met students who come from diploma background or technical state boards. We do accept those students also. There is no partiality towards such students. What we need is 65% and above from diplomas also and from technical boards. However, there is no IELTS waiver. IELTS is mandatory for technical boards and diploma holders. The academic requirement remains to be the same, which is 65% and above. Admission process is very easy. We do accept direct applications. You can do a direct application or you can apply via UCAS also. We have one particular intake for undergrad, which is September, and the coming intake is September 23. Now, when to apply is the biggest question for class 12 students. At times, we've met students, who are in a dilemma and are not able to understand that, ma'am, I'm currently in class 12 and I'm yet to give my boards and I am not sure what percentage I'll be getting. So how can I apply at this point of time? It's very easy. What we can do is whatever documentation you have at this point of time. For example, you have your 10th certificate, your 10th mark sheet, and you might be having your provisional results with you. You can submit those at the time of applying for a particular course, and we can offer you a conditional place in the university based on your provisional results. In case if you are able to meet the academic expectation, you are eligible for an unconditional offer. If not, then your conditional offer goes null and void. So right time to apply for an undergrad course would be while you're doing your class 12. And there is a particular reason behind that. For any undergrad student who is applying to study at Northumbria, there is a complete process that these students have to follow. Now, that process is not just 2 days or a 3 days process. For example, you're doing an application, you are submitting your documents, and you get an offer letter. The process does not just stop there. So there are a lot of formalities and steps to be followed at a later stage also. For example, finalizing your accommodation, enrolling yourself at the university, submitting your documents for your CAS, preparing your financial documentation, also giving your pre-CAS interview. These are the kind of steps which are involved right after you receive your offer letter. Then you also need time to prepare for your deposit, to make your initial deposit. To avoid any delay at a later stage, what we suggest is that the students make an application while they are doing their class 12 itself. so that you have ample amount of time in your hand to complete the rest of the process and there is no rush towards enrolling in the university. The kind of documentation that we need for a UG application is very basic, very simple. We don't need very complicated documents. For any student who is giving their class 12th at this point of time, you need to submit your statement of purpose. Now, statement of purpose is a document which is mistaken to be a very complicated document. But what we need at Northumbria is a very simple SOP. It does not has to be very complicated, very prolonged, very basic, straightforward, up to the point statement of purpose, where you talk about your interest in the university, why you want to do a particular course, why do you want to go to Northumbria only, what benefits you think this course can give to your career, and your educational background, your family background, and that's all about it. So what we need is a statement of purpose, a class 10th mark sheet, your valid passports, and in case if you've had any sort of work experience or you've taken participation in any co-curricular activities. For example, if you're applying for a sports course and you've had some sort of achievements in your school time, you've taken few certificates and etc., then you can upload those as well. And if you've given your class 12th, then your class 12th mark sheet is also. So these are the only 4-5 set of documents that we need in your application. Now, the major factor is the undergraduation fees. The undergraduation fees for our courses are £17,500 to £19,000 per year. For majority of the courses, the fees is £19,000 per year. However, there would be few courses for which the fees could be £17,500 as well. There are some exceptional programs where the fees might change a little bit also, but again, majority of the courses, the fees remains to be £19,000 per year. We are also giving scholarship at our undergrad level. There is a £3,000 scholarship, which we are giving to all our UG applicants in the first year of this course that they apply for and their studies. Now, this is not a subsequent scholarship. This is only applicable in the first year of their studies. So the fees is £19,000 per year. And we do give a £3,000 scholarship also. So it comes out to be £16,000 per year for majority of the programs. However, if your fees is £17,500, then there is a £3,000 global scholarship, which is given on that particular course also. Since I mentioned that we are giving guaranteed accommodation to all our undergrad students, let's talk about that in detail now. I've had students myself and interacted with parents, and not just girls, but even for boys. The major concern for any parent or even for a student themselves is about the accommodation. Will they get accommodation in a particular city? How far will they be from the city? How easy is it to commute for them from the place where they are living towards the campus? Do they get all facilities around the campus in their student accommodation? What is the price range of the accommodation? So these are the kind of questions which every parent and student also has. For that same purpose, we have guaranteed accommodation that we are giving to all our first year applicants at the undergrad level. And there are quite a few options also which we are providing. So it's not just limited to 1 or 2 accommodations, but we have more than 7-8 accommodations for all our undergrad applicants. What you see on the screen is the kind of accommodations we are offering in the university. So we have Stephenson, we have Glenmara, we have Claude Gibb, Cray Point, Trinity Square, Newbridge, Byron Central. These are few of the options which are there. And they start ranging, the price range for these accommodations is close to £100 and they stretch up until £140, £150 per week. Now, the price variation is because of certain factors, I would say. And these factors would be the kind of facilities that you are taking in an accommodation. And these facilities would be if you're taking a catered accommodation, a non-catered accommodation, the proximity to the university campus, sharing bases, and etc. So this is the price variation that we have. And all the details with respect to what facilities you get is there on the website also. And these accommodations are with very close proximity to the university. The nearest would be probably a 2-3 minute walk, and the farthest would be 15-20 minutes walk. And apart from this, we have few more options which are available on the website. If I talk about accommodation, there are few things which I would want to, mention to all our applicants who are here right now. There are few steps for any student to follow. Now we are giving guaranteed accommodation, but that's only till 30th of June. Since I mentioned that the right time to apply is while you're doing your 12th and not to wait for your results, it is for the same reason. So, in case if you decide on any particular accommodation and you visit the Northumbria website and you finalize on a particular accommodation, you have to sign your tenancy agreement before 30th of June itself. There is a particular contract of £250 which happens for any for any university accommodation. So you have to sign that tenancy agreement, provide all your details, and complete the process by 30th of June itself, and also pay the advance rent payment. So these are 2-3 steps which all the students will have to follow in case if they are looking to stay at the university accommodation and want guaranteed accommodation before they start their course. So these are few steps which are there in the complete process. And because of this particular reason, only we advise all our students to start the process at a very early stage and not delay and not wait till you get your results. It's better to have a conditional offer letter than to hold on and wait till the end of the process and rush at a later stage. Our contact details are there on the slide right now, and we also have our email address mentioned. I think I've tried to cover every aspect with respect to undergraduate applications and the kind of courses we have and the entry requirements and what provisions we are providing to all our UG applicants. However, if you want to reach out to the university and speak to us regarding anything, any queries and questions you have, you can always write to us on this email address, which is there on the website, on the slide right now. It's er.indiaoffice@northumbria.ac.uk. And we also have our line number mentioned in the slide right now. You can reach out to us anytime and we'll be very happy to assist you. In case if we have any questions, we are ready to take them now. Priyanka, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much for taking out your time and giving us this insightful presentation. Now time for the Q&A session. I will read out all the questions from the YouTube chat box.
Sure.
Yeah. So our first question is, hello, I'm Shubham. I'm from India. I have a complete diploma in plastic technology 2016 and I have a working experience 2016 to till now. Can I apply bachelor degree program without IELTS?
Right. So we can accept students who have a diploma background, since I mentioned. And what we need is 65% and above in their diploma. However, since you have passed out in 2016, and while you're doing your application to any university, the admissions team has its own criteria of judging an application, right? You are going for an undergraduation course right after 7-8 years of employment. The question that can be raised here is that why do you want to go for your graduation at this point of time after having 8 years of work experience in India? And the kind of modules that we have in our undergrad courses are they're designed in a way to cater to a student who's just done their class 12 or who's just completed their diploma. So it is very important for a student who holds a vast experience to check the modules in the website to understand if this course will actually add on to your career or not. Will it give you any sort of progression in your career or not? So that's a very important aspect. Secondly, the kind of work experience you hold, you have to choose a course, relatively closer to that only. And it should not be like, for example, you are into hospitality and tourism management and you've had experience of that for a few years, and now you want to go for a health and life sciences course. So that should not be the case. And since we're talking about 8 years and 9 years of work experience, it gets very difficult to make the admissions team understand that why do you want to do your undergrad at this point of time. So what I'll suggest the student or the applicant is to go through the website, understand the course very well, and get to know that will this even advance your career or not, because you already have such past experience.
Okay, so our next question is, what do you think are the pros and the cons, if there are any, about getting a master's degree in the UK for international students?
Okay, so firstly, this was about undergraduate. So, but since we've got a master's question, I'll be very happy to answer that also. Pros and cons are there everywhere, no matter where you're studying. You're studying in UK, you're studying in Canada, Australia, India itself. Cons, I'm not sure, because any education that you're taking, it's just a pro. It's just adding advantage to your career. You are learning, and learning has no capacity. It has no limit to itself. So I would not really think of having any con while you're doing an application or while you're doing your master's or even undergrad in UK or in India itself. I could not think of it because knowledge is helpful at any stage, at any year.
So our next question is, for international students, is there any help to find jobs in the UK after graduation or during the studies?
Right, right. Okay. I think that's the most prominent question any student would have. So, I was talking about the kind of knowledge that we provide to our students, the curriculum that we have. So, we have placement year designed for that at undergrad level. Now, that's a 4-year duration study, and in your third year, you get some sort of practical experience. Now, there are certain options that you can choose from. For example, you have consultancy project, a business consultancy project, or you have your thesis, you have your research module. So these are the kind of options out of which a student can choose. Now, what exposure a student gets is basically, I would not say that there is guaranteed internship or etc. But the right idea behind that is that a student should work in an environment where they feel like they're working in a corporate organization. And we have host organizations which participate in these particular projects. A single project is given to maybe 4 or 5 group of students where you work collaboratively. You have real life projects, real life problems of a particular organization which every student solves. You get an academic tutor, a person who's taking care of your needs and helping you to solve those real life problems, and that's the kind of exposure you get. So again, the idea behind this is that while studying inside the campus, while doing your undergrad degree, you should be well equipped to get into the corporate world. And this is the kind of practical exposure that we can provide to all our students at undergrad level. Apart from this, after you complete your graduation, you also have placement opportunities. But within the graduation also, we are trying to equip our students with all sort of practical exposure that we can provide.
So the next question is, I have 1 year gap after my graduation. Can I apply for masters?
Okay. Now, gap is a very sensitive topic, but I'll talk about that and give you clarity on that. So there are two kind of gaps to be clear here, and I think I would want to tell this to all students or all applicants who might be in the session right now. Um, One gap is which is within your studies. For example, you have done your undergrad, and the duration of the undergrad was 3 years. You've done a proper BCom course from India, and it is of 3 years duration, right? So what we can accept is max to max 1 year extra in that particular graduation period. So if your studies was of 3 years, we can accommodate 4 years of graduation. If you've done BTech, which is of 4 years, then we can accommodate 5 years of graduation, but not more than that. Now, this also raises the question of backlogs. So we can accept a number of backlogs given that the student has completed their studies in a particular amount of time that is accepted in the university, and they are meeting the academic requirement, right? So this is one kind of gap that we have. The second type of gap would be after your studies, since you've mentioned about this particular student that they have completed their graduation and they have 1 year of gap period after that. Now, 1 year or 2 year of gap we understand because COVID happened in India and all over the world, and it was difficult for people to find jobs, and that is okay. We are happy to accept that. However, What we advise our students is, in case if you have 2 years or 3 years of gap period, please do mention about that in your statement of purpose. Please do give us relevant documents. For example, if you were doing any sort of work, if you were employed within your organization, even if you were doing some business activity of your own within your family business and etc., please mention it in your resume. Talk about it in your statement of purpose, and we can look into that.
So the next question is, I have already gotten an offer letter from Northumbria University to study Masters in Communication Design. I
Okay.
wanted to know if there is any scholarship for my course.
Yes. So when you apply for a master's course for communication design, we do have a 2,000 pound global country scholarship, which we are giving to our students. And that scholarship would be mentioned in your offer letter only. So in case if you've received your offer letter, you can check that below your student fees, there would be your scholarship mentioned, and your fees after the deduction of the scholarship is also mentioned in the offer letter. So we have a 2,000 pound scholarship for our PG programs, which is valid for communication design course also.
Okay. How is the Masters in Business program in the university? And what are the visa and application deadlines?
Okay. So if I talk about business program, we have international business management. We also have various specializations at the postgrad level, which is business with marketing, business with finance. Then we have investment, finance, and management related courses also, which we are offering. And for our business courses, we do not just have a single recognition, but we have dual recognition, which is from AACSB and CIM also. So that's the kind of facility and provision that we have for our IBM related programs. If I talk about deadline for a visa, as of now, we are accepting applications and deposits for our business related courses. So we've not decided on the deadline. However, since this is such a high in demand course, what we suggest our students is to maybe deposit as soon as possible and accept your offer letter on the student portal.
What is the average salary we can expect after completing management, international business?
Right. So, average salary, if I talk about UK overall, the culture of the average salary would be about 20 to 21,000 pounds. That is the kind of range that it starts from.
Okay. Does Northumbria University operating department practice accept international students in foundation courses?
We do. We do have foundation programs also available, and they are in various specializations. So we have for humanities, we have for business, we also have for social sciences, health related foundation year is also available in the university. If you want to know more in detail, you can also visit foundation year courses on the website. I'll just give you a brief idea about the kind of foundation programs we have. The percentage idea that we are looking at is above 55, 57% and above. However, it does differ profile to profile. And these applications for foundation programs are assessed by our academic tutors. So it's a longer process than a usual application for an undergrad course. And we also need UKVIILs for all our foundation programs.
So the next question is, as I am visually impaired student, so can I get admission as in Northumbria University?
Yes, yes, you may. While you're doing an application, there is a disability part, a section for disability, which you can mention about there. So any student who is suffering from any sort of disability, you can tick in that section and talk about it and mention your documents. So we have special needs and special care facilities that we can offer to such students.
So the next question is, do you have student accommodation? If so, how does it work?
Right. So I think you might have joined when we were talking about the questions because I spoke in detail about all the accommodation options that we have. But just to repeat again, we do have guaranteed accommodation for all our undergrad students in the first year. And there are probably 7, 8 options which are there. And if you want to know more in details, you can visit the website. But yes, we are offering guaranteed accommodation to our students.
Okay, so the next question is 3 years diploma in chemical engineering. 1 year diploma in medical laboratory technique, 4 years of lab tech internship, technical internship, second year of banking and financial job. Can I apply
Okay.
for operating department practice with the foundation?
So this particular profile seems to be very confusing since you've done diplomas in laboratory and medical work, and then you've taken diploma in banking and finance. So there's a clash of interest over there. You can submit your application, but again, it will be assessed by our academic tutors. So we'll decide on case to case basis. But yes, you will have to justify why you've made such shift in your career and in your education, and why do you want to do a particular foundation course now.
So I have covered all the questions from the YouTube chat box.
Great.
Yeah.
Anything else apart from this
Yeah.
that anybody would want to know? So I've tried to cover maximum things with respect to our undergrad programs, but yes, there will be more details which are there on the website. If you search about any particular course on the website, you can get every detail there in the homepage section itself. It talks about the kind of exposure a student gets, the kind of practical experience that you will be provided, what relevance that particular course has in Newcastle upon Tyne, what business opportunities, or I would say industry opportunities you have after completing that course. All the details are there on the website itself. So I suggest all our applicants to start doing their undergrad applications. And let's hope to see you all at Northumbria.
Yeah. So thank you, Nana, for answering all the questions so well. Thank you for your valuable time, everyone. To all the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact SIUK India office. For more updates, do follow us on our social media handles. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Priyanka.
Thank you.